Today what we're going to do is talk about how to supercharge your social media with AI. We're going to talk about how to drive traffic across all major platforms so that you can start getting traffic, sell stuff, and make money. You're going to discover how artificial intelligence can transform your social media strategy, boost engagement, and drive unprecedented traffic to your content. This is very straightforward. It's something anyone can do. It's something you can start right now. All you need to do is think about content differently. The reason you're not getting the results that you want is because you're thinking about content the way that most people think about content rather than thinking about it from the person who's actually going to be consuming it. Once we do this and we understand how algorithms work, we understand where the traffic goes, and we understand what works, then we could just double, triple, and quadruple down on what works and kind of duplicate our efforts. Now, going through here, we're going to talk about my specific AI-powered methods. How do we build this? How does it work? Now, first of all, what we want to do is we want to start with a good domain name, whether we're doing an expired domain, whether we're doing auction domain. We want something short and to the point. For me, I use affiliatemarketingdude.com, but I also use affiliatedude.com for social media. Why? Because it's small, it's easy, nobody's going to spell it wrong unless you're me, but most people will spell it right. And it's not as big as Affiliate Marketing Dude. It's something smaller. So we're going to be utilizing something very straightforward. As far as SEO, this doesn't really matter. It does help to have SEO if it's there. That's a benefit, but it's not something that we absolutely must have. Now, using this, we're going to do AI content at scale. We are going to take something and break it down bit by bit so that we can get things that will be helpful that will promote that same thing. So if you're going out there and you're creating like a how to start a garden type guide, you would go out there, you would make the giant guide, and you're going to chop it up and split it up in a way that you can use on social media that'll work really well. We're going to use AI to create high quality, I'm going to emphasize high quality content in days instead of months, reducing costs by 90%. This is going to be very easy. This is something where I know that 90% number is legit because I have an outsourced team that creates content all the time with AI, and having them use AI is extremely less expensive than we used to do. We used to pay about $40 to $60 per article, sometimes as high as $300 for a big piece of content, and now we're paying, like on the high end, $20 per piece, okay? And $5 for the run-of-the-mill one. So looking at that is very, very important. This is where if you don't understand where you're at with AI and you're not getting it and you feel stuck, this is going to get you unstuck. And what I'm going to talk to you about with our social media army thing is going to put you in a next level. Now, we're going to talk about advanced AI prompting. We're going to talk about how JSON prompts work and how to use them in the correct way for specific things that you want so that you get something duplicated, because the name of the game is duplicating what works, double down on what works, and keep going. Obviously, content and quality is key. Now, going through here, we're going to do data-driven niche selection and data-driven content selection. You don't want to just make content because you're supposed to make content. You want to make content that's actually going to work in a real-world way, get you results, and then keep doing that and keep doing it over and over. We're going to identify profitable niches and content ideas based on our domain and based on several other things that we're going to talk about in terms of market analysis. Now, first of all, I want you to understand the power of trigger words. What is going to make people stop and read or watch or consume the piece of content that you create? When we're looking at trigger words, this is a little bit different than the trigger words we use for search engine type stuff. However, these are psychological trigger words that will help people see your stuff. Stuff like transform, unleash, master, discover, exclusive, limited, members only, VIP, or different things for urgency and curiosity. Having the AI put these into your content is going to help people view your content so that you can get traffic. There are people right now that are making insane amounts posting things on Facebook and Instagram, and they're just getting paid on platform, literally by the engagement. Now, we're going to talk about how to use this to build a business, because a lot of people, I see people, they get 4 million views on their post, they make $200. We don't want to do that. We want to use this to build an audience. Social media isn't always the longest lived thing, right? It's kind of a flash in the pan. Some people last long, some people don't. When we look at this, what we want to do is at the end of the day, build a business around it. That's what this is about. If you build a list, if you build a business, that's something you can profit from over and over and over again. I'll never forget when I built my first list, my first serious list in 2008. I was paying on average like $300 to $500 a day in ad spend. I was profitable, but that list that I bought back in 2008 literally still makes me money today. Why? Because I nurture it, I treat it well, I give good content. That's what this is about, is giving something that is going to help them. Now, when we go through and we look at the different types of social media posts, what are the things that we can post? Now, different places will have different uses and different ones that do well. You can do posts like educational, which is how-to guides, tutorials, skill-building content. Informational, which is industry news, facts, valuable insights. Think about educational, like how to set up a blog. Informational would be what is going on in the blogging industry with AI or whatever it is. Okay, very, very important. And we're going to look at those in a real world way. Now, there's another one, which is straight clickbait, right? Doing clickbait, there's two types of clickbait. One type of clickbait out there is the bad kind, which is clickbait and switch. Clickbait and switch is where you have something and you get them in on that one thing and there's like a promise, right? So let's see if I can get my pen working here. I always forget the name of it. Oh, there it is, that one. What we're gonna do is clickbait and switch, which is where you're not delivering on the promise, which is bad. We always want to deliver on the promise. That is very, very important that we deliver on that promise. Okay, looks like it's working now. So clickbait is basically getting them to click on something. There's nothing wrong with that. That is good, it works. However, if I say click here to see, this guy fall down the stairs or whatever, and you show a picture of a book, that's clickbait and switch. I didn't really have the goods. However, if I say, hey, click here to watch this video where I'm going to teach you X, Y, and Z, and I teach them X, Y, and Z, then that's good. On social media, some content does need to be sensationalized. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people scroll and click faster than ever, which means they're distracted from the stuff that will actually help them. Our job is to make things that help them, but package it in a way that they will actually watch it. If we can do that, we will win. Very, very important. Another one can be inspirational, where you're doing motivational quotes, success stories, and different things like that. And never underestimate the power of repetition. Repeating stuff over and over works really well. Right now, there's a trend of these influencers that talk about making money, and they're literally just dancing around on camera, and they show how much they make every day. And that's it. There's no valuable content at all. It's just inspirational, repetitive stuff. Now, do they have the goods? That's debatable. A lot of them are flash in the pan or network marketing type stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but some of the products are not that good. So we want to do this ethically and do it good. That's what's going to make you last a long time, is doing things ethical that helps the person at the end of the day. If you can help someone make money, they will buy from you over and over and over and over again, and they will love it and they will be happy. That's why a lot of my customers have been with me many years. I help them make money. That's what we do. That's what we talk about. That's how it works. Next up, you have community. This would be where you're engaging with questions, polls, engagement-focused content, get them to comment, get them to share, get them to like. That's building. This is a lot like what Gary Vee talks about as well, where he's like, okay, you want to mix it between, helpful content and sales content. Very important. Next up, we have promotional. This is going to be kind of like, if you remember that old food pyramid, let me show you what it looks like. It was like, oh, hey, the fats and salts are at the top, have a little, right? Food pyramid. This is the sales one. The more salesy you get, the more people you're going to lose. If you focus on help, they will always want to open your email. What I do is I always focus on giving help with the sales message. Just make it part of it. Like if you guys are finding this training helpful, this is going to be a sales message at the end. It's just going to be wrapped up in something helpful. So at the end of the day, whether you buy or not, you feel like you got something good. However, my job would be to make most people feel like, hey, I need to get this offer, this opportunity, because it ain't going to last long. So when you look at that and you look at the food pyramid, the salt and fats are at the top. That's like your sales message. Down here, the bread and everything, that's like your substance content that's really, really going to help people. Focusing on that is absolutely key. So looking at this, the types of social media posts are very, very important. We want to balance different post types for optimal engagement. If you keep saying sales stuff, no one's going to want your stuff. If you have helpful stuff, they will be waiting for good stuff. Diversify your content for maximum impact. Next up, we're going to look at call to actions. Now, every piece of content, in my opinion, should have some kind of call to action, like subscribe, go to a website, fill out a form, buy a product. One of the things that a lot of people overlook and they wonder why they don't get sales is because they don't tell people what to do. Online, people need to be told what to do. Like literally, whenever I show an order form and tell people to fill it out, right? Like on this call, you will see me show this order form and I'll show you how to fill it out. Not because I don't think you know how to fill out an order form. Obviously you do. It just shows you what you're doing and what to expect. This is something I think it was Jeff Mulligan came out with years ago, and he found out that just putting a screenshot of his order form on the sales page increased conversions because they knew what to expect. We're going to look at powerful call to action strategies that drive engagement and conversions with compelling call to actions that get results. You can do an engagement CTA, which is like a double tap, like, tag someone, something like that. You can do a follow me for more, subscribe for this, whatever the platform allows, that's what we would do. Comment, getting them to comment is key. A lot of people think that social media is about subscribers, and I'm gonna tell you right now, subscribers don't mean anything. Literally is a useless vanity number, means nothing. There are people with 10 million subscribers who literally, they can't get engagement. And that's what it's about, is engagement. And the question is, would you rather have, 100,000 subscribers or 10,000 people to watch every video? I'll take the 10,000 every day, twice on Sunday. Why? Because engagement is what matters, not the following. That is a very, very important thing to look at. Also, looking at the value of what the traffic is. If people are watching funny dog videos, are they going to buy your stuff? Okay, they might not. We want people who can buy our stuff. I'd rather have a small group of people who can buy my stuff than a large group who doesn't. Very important. So comment CTAs, getting them to comment and engage. The reason this is important is when people comment, it is signaling to the algorithm, hey, this person went out of their busy day to make a comment. Whether it's good, bad, whatever, doesn't matter. It's just going to be some kind of comment. That's why those work really well. And the algorithm says, okay, show them more of this guy's post because they commented with one. That's what's going to trigger the algorithm really quick, is getting people to comment, get people to ask questions, get people to say, yes, I want the next video. Prepping them for that next thing is really, really key. That's what's going to keep you from being a flash in the pan, which we've seen so many times. I mean, you think about the amount of views some of these social media people get, and then they phase out and they go broke because they never built a business. They just went out there and got views and made a couple of pennies per view, which does nothing at the end of the day. Link call to actions. This is where you're linking them off site. Be very careful with this. The algorithms are watching where you link. For me, I always link to a blog or an opt-in page. We're going to show you how to do that as well. Share CTAs, where you're telling them to share stuff. Repost if it shares, if you like it, stuff like that. The key is make every post actionable in some way, shape, or form. Can we perpetuate it? Can I get them to share it? Can I get them to use it? We want to be specific, create some kind of urgency, give an offer value, and use our action words. We'll go over these more in a little bit. Now, a tip would be test different CTAs and find out what works best. Your market is not my market. However, if you guys join the Army group, it will be my market, so I will have a lot more to share on that. But sometimes in the dog training market, it's a little bit different than other types of market as well. Now, let's talk about YouTube AI content strategies. When we're talking about faceless videos and different things like that, where most of us don't want to share our face, we want to talk about how we're going to leverage AI to use this. How are we going to do it? First of all, we need a good optimized title. Your title is one of the most important things, if not the most important thing in your video. It's almost more important than the video itself, because what that's doing is the title is saying, here's who should watch this. And then YouTube's going to go find the people who should watch it first based on your title. And that's all they have to go off of. I mean, they have your content, your video and stuff, but that title is really saying, hey, this is what this guy thinks the video is about. So if it's not about how to drive a school bus, then you're not going to show up for that, right? It has to be about that. Script generation, we can use AI to create scripts, SEO descriptions and tags, content pattern. Going through and looking at different videos in your market, looking at different posts in your market, this is key. This is where AI comes into play. Back in the old days, I had to do this. I had to watch videos. I'll never forget one video I did where I watched over 10 hours of other videos just to see what was going on in the market. Now, AI can break it down very, very quickly, very fast, and it'll tell us what will work. Watch what works, look for the outliers. When you're on social media, you want to make sure you watch for outliers. Like if you were to go to any channel, let's say, I don't know, let's just do like Make Money Facebook or something like that. What you're going to do is you're going to find a channel that is about this stuff, right? So here's this Corey guy. All right, Corey has 39,000 subscribers. Now what you're going to see, Instagram, Facebook, everything, there's amount of followers, amount of subscribers, amount of people that watch someone's content. In that, there's a baseline, okay? So like if I put a video out about anything, 2,000 to 4,000 views right now is my baseline. Meaning it doesn't matter what the content's about, I'm gonna get 2,000 to 4,000 views just because I'm me, just because I have my subscribers, okay? Now, going through and looking at other stuff, looking at other stuff here, what we're doing is we're looking for an outlier. So looking at this, let's do a little test. How many views on average does this guy get just for putting a video up? Doesn't matter what video it is. He puts something up there. What would that look like? Thanks. What would that look like? So we're seeing 295, 849, 400, 500. I'm going to say his baseline is right around 6, maybe 700, okay? So looking at that and understanding that, let's look for outliers. It's pretty easy. We're just going through and saying, okay, here's 1,600. That's okay. That's not like a big outlier. I'm looking for like 10,000, 5,000. So 2,100, baseline. Okay, so 8,000. I can't believe I gave ChatGPT unlimited memory in 60 seconds. Okay. So that shows that's interesting. This one here, build any website with ChatGPT and Claude. So it looks like ChatGPT, when he talks about that, does a lot better. 53,000, that is a zinger outlier. Watch this before you buy ChatGPT Plus or Gemini Pro. Could be timing, but that looks pretty good. New ChatGPT projects will change how you use AI forever. So it looks like it's more about like, hey, here's this new thing. Here's what you shouldn't do. Here's what you need to do. Something that's a little bit more engaging. Gemini Pro can build websites. Oh, okay, cool. The best way to make money on Facebook. You can also go through and click on popular, but be careful with this because it's going to line them up by date, which this is 2 years old. If you copy that, it probably will not work today. That was probably something that worked back then. Copying that now, it probably was timing, a little bit of luck, and it was probably a good video. Okay, so looking at that, we want to focus and say, okay, what can I do? Here's one without ads, performance bonus on Facebook. So pretty cool stuff. Looking at the outliers is key. We want to look for those outliers and understand what's working. Facebook, same thing. If a guy's got 1 million subscribers or whatever, we're going to go through, we're going to look at that and say, okay, how many views does he get? What is it that actually worked? We're looking for the pattern of what works. Next up, when we go to YouTube Mastery Results, and again, I've done okay in this realm. Not a big player, but I do all right. In the years that I've been doing this, we've had about 20 million views across different channels, lots of revenue generated. What I've found is that AI title optimization is key. You can use AI to create titles. Your title is like your headline. It's the same kind of thing, right? It's out there. It's like, okay, I want people to think differently. When you're doing text and image, such as a title and a thumbnail, what I find is best is say something in the thumbnail that you can't or didn't say in the title. Like if he said, watch this before you buy, and then this said, watch before you buy, it's doubling up. You're wasting space. What he did is say, oh, it's a waste of money. Okay, I want to click that. ChatGPT create online course. That probably could have done a lot better had it said, OMG course in 10 minutes, question mark, right? That's getting something outside of it. How I got 1,000 Facebook followers, go viral every time. Boom, those work really well together. Okay, so understanding how they work is key. What can I say with the image or the art that I can't say in my title, or how can I complement it? Using those double is key. Like if I'm going to say something, I want to be able to duplicate that. Now, YouTube is good. It's a longer play. It does take more time to create good YouTube content than just Facebook. We're going to talk about both. I think what we should all be doing is focus on low barrier of entry content first. Okay, so we're going to go out there, we're going to say, okay, low barrier of entry content. What's the lowest barrier of entry? Well, the lowest barrier of entry would be a sentence on Facebook, okay, or a sentence in 6 comments, something like that. All right, that's something where, I mean, if you can't create that, you need to not try to make money online, because that's just way too easy with AI. Now, the question is how do you get those to take off? Well, I'm going to do the sentence with those things there, maybe turn it into an infographic, then turn those infographics into a video, turn that into a blog post. And we're going to make all of this piggyback and work off of each other, because it's not just about one platform, it's about all of them as a whole. It's about a content distribution system. That's what we are doing, is making a content distribution system. CDS, if you want to make an acronym there. So going through that, we're going to kind of graduate, like build a following. Because if you build a following on Facebook and they're like, dude tells me all kinds of cool AI tips or prompts or shares all kinds of things every day. You can share it in groups, obviously make sure you're helpful. And if you focus on helping first, the audience will follow you. And then when you make a video based on what you just helped them with, they're going to love it. Like it's kind of like a domino effect where you're setting it up and it works like crazy. Next up, we're going to look at Facebook, Instagram. This is visual, where you could go through and you could create things in a very visual way. I can say, let's say I'm in the cooking market. Okay, what are 100 chef tips that other cooks don't know? Okay, this is one. I'm a cook, so I know this. It helps to know about your market. That's why when we do high ticket niches and stuff like that, we try to pick something that's going to fit what you like, because it'll make it easy. So for me, I like cooking. One thing I learned is chefs always put tomato paste in damn near everything. Tomato paste and mustard are like the two things that are the secret ingredients, like using tomato paste or mustard. Okay? Something like that. This will go through, and now I will have helpful stuff in seconds, where this will go through. And this is where AI shines, is being able to get things like this. And imagine that. Like, how many of you guys, is there any other cooks here? Type cook in the box. Years ago, one of the things I wanted to learn to make was hollandaise sauce. I liked it. I never had it as a kid, but I love it. And if you've tried making it, type hollandaise in the box. All the videos, all the stuff just taught terrible ways to make it. I didn't want to get boiling water and all of that. And I wanted it to taste like chef hollandaise sauce. And the key is putting a little scoop of Dijon mustard. Boom, magic. Different things like that was key. And those are little tips where if you are a cook, that's going to help you. So that's something where even though it's one sentence on social media, the person's going to be like, oh, wait a minute, I need to read whatever this guy comes out with, because I did what he said, and now it's really good. Very important. So now I can go through and use this here and then start building things. So now if I wanted to start with just text, I could say caramelize tomato paste in a dry pan until it darkens, adds deep umami and color to sauces. This is a kind of thing where, I mean, there's probably not a lot online about this. Doesn't look like it, no results. Okay, so here's TikTok. Let's see if this concept works. So what they said that was right out of the gate. And this one, he's got comments, he's got some following. Okay, not the greatest video quality, but look at that. 12,000 likes, a lot of shares. This video, I'm gonna say, did pretty good. Let's see what else they're doing. Yeah, dude's on point. Everybody's wrong about, what are they wrong about? Pressing garlic. See how this is, like, this moves product. How many of you guys see this and you're like, oh, wait a minute, if I did this the right way, and instead of just, oh, hey, here's this thing, maybe I could get them to go to my site and they can download the list of my secret chef tips, which I got from ChatGPT. All we're doing is structuring stuff different. I've said many years that content structured differently can make you rich if done correctly. Dijon mustard, salt and stages, very simple stuff. LinkedIn you can use, it's more for business, and I would use LinkedIn more for the SEO qualities. LinkedIn Pulse is very good for SEO qualities. What this is called is it's known as a booster. A booster is something, a booster is something where you're using a page that you don't own or a site you don't own to boost yours up. Now, LinkedIn Pulse did get some issues with what is it called? Domain reputation abuse, because a lot of people were using it, but it still does rank, and you'll see that. So that's something you can use. I'm not big on LinkedIn, but it does work. And using these compounded, like, can I use LinkedIn with a press release, with a blog, with a YouTube, and all this other? Yes, I can. And they love each other. Like, YouTube's not going to not promote YouTube. Like, if you go out there and you get links to it, it will promote it. Leveraging AI to create engaging social media, where you're going through and doing AI-generated carousel posts. So I could go through and I could say, turn this into a 4-image carousel post. Boom. And it'll go through and it'll, this one specifically, into those images. I can post them, and now I'm ready to go. Now, again, thinking about your titles, thinking about what it is that's going to get the people into the stuff is absolutely key. Again, looking at his baseline. Okay, what does he have? How does it work? Some of these do well, some don't. What works well? Him standing there seemed to work good. This picture of whatever that is, pictures of food, best recipe. So having text on it helped there. And it's probably a lot to do with his title as well. Best recipe never heard of, different things like that, okay? So very important to understand where our content's coming from, and then going through and saying, okay, now, let's see, do I need to drop to images? Now make the images. And this will actually go through and make the images. Now, how many of you guys are saying, yeah, this looks a lot easier than like this whole process that I've been taught by other people? It's really about sticking the course and making things that work. Now, as that's going, we're going to create multi-slide carousel posts with consistent branding that drive 3x more engagement than single images. Then we're going to go through, do story sequence generation, generate cohesive Instagram story sequences that visually consistency while guiding viewers through a narrative. Okay. All right, so story sequence generation, where you're going to make a Instagram story sequence that maintains visual consistency while guiding the viewers through a narrative. Whether that narrative is to teach them stuff or whatever, we're going to focus on specifics. Now, going through and thinking about this as a whole, we don't want to think about it as just one-off posts. We want to think about it as building and building and building up to something. Can we do 5 or 6 posts in sequence where the first 4 get them into some idea, and then the last one is like, oh, let's sell them or get them to opt in or whatever it is. Kind of getting them to anticipate and wait for the next stuff is actually key. Now, the power of social media groups, a lot of people overlook this, but I mean, there was, I think I have the slide. Yeah, the next slide we have is where I utilize social media groups to generate over, I think it's 22 grand in like 19 days or something like that. And it was from new audience. It wasn't my old stuff. Social media groups are good because you get a higher engagement rate, although a lot of people use these wrong and they focus on getting, traffic or sales rather than just helping people out and engaging. Engagement is key. People are on social media because they want to be social. They want to interact with things. Now, these groups, whether you create your own or use one that already exists, They're going to provide a deeper community connection, better organic reach, targeted lead generation, and trust and authority building. Never underestimate the power of a good group. You can create a group and you can deliberately grow it. One of the people local to the place that I live was offered some crazy amount of money for his local city group, and it was one that he started. It wasn't even started by the city, he just started it, and I think they offered him like close to 6 figures for it, and he really didn't do anything except talk to people and build the group. Facebook has 1.8 billion monthly group users, 10 times higher engagement, 70% better reach, and 5 times more conversion when done correctly. Pro strategy: join relevant groups in your niche, provide value before promoting. Watch what works, watch what people engage with. Don't just go in there and expect things to work right off the bat. Now, when we look at this one, this is my Facebook group success story. We went into a bunch of groups, provided value. I got over 177 signups in 19 days, $20,000 commission, and that was only on 2,000 visitors, a little over 2,000 visitors sent to the offer, for an earnings per click of about $9, which was pretty crazy. Now, of that, I had to get a lot more people engaged than 2,000 in order to get those 2,000 to go to that offer. Very important. Now, looking at TikTok, this is where you could do short form AI content, where I could go through and maybe say, okay, here's our carousel of, the tomato paste or whatever it is. Okay, I can go through and I can use that. Now, utilizing these things, don't underestimate them. They work really good. Now add some text explaining them on the image, and it'll go through and it'll do that and explain it, and we can start posting it and use it. This is something that we did in 2023. I had a guy on, and now everyone's talking about Facebook, but had you listened to me back then, you probably would have gotten some results. We actually had a group of people, much like the army we're going to talk about today, only they were in different niches, so it was harder to manage and monetize. But we had one guy, I think in his first couple months, he was able to get 10,000 followers on his Facebook. He created a group. He did really well with it. I think he's still got it going on today. Pretty sure he's still active with it today. I've done Facebook groups for my addiction channel, my AI, my blogging, affiliate marketing, all kinds of stuff. Works really, really well, and they monetize really well, especially if you're the owner of the group, and it's not that hard to build a group and grow it. And what we want to do is we want to look at AI-powered trend analysis. Can we figure out what's working? Looking at what's going on. What is the algorithm like? What's actually happening in our niche? If I was to go for like make money, okay, what's going to come up for this? What are people watching? What's doing really well? We could see some of these. So 73,000 there. Side hustles that can make you an extra 1,000 a week. This is low effort content. I mean, anyone can make this kind of stuff. They're most likely probably just reading ChatGPT stuff, but people love it. Right, that's literally all there is to it. 169,000, and on we go. And you guys have probably seen a lot of these. Sadly, a lot of them don't have the chops with what they're teaching, but they are getting the views, so that part is working well, and we can learn from that. Be careful what you promote, because it is up to you to be ethical and good. Script hook generation, generating attention-grabbing hooks to complete scripts for TikTok 3-second retention threshold. What does that mean? That means with anything online, you have a 3-second window to get their attention where they decide whether they like it or not. Much like speed dating, right? When you go speed dating, you know pretty much if you're attracted to someone right away or if it's not going to work for you. We are visual-based people. That is how it works. Audio and visual is what's going to get them. Looking at that 3-second is key. Hashtag and caption optimization. Hashtags are good. A lot of people put more stock in them than they have. I've seen stuff without hashtags that do just as good as with. So again, it has to do with your trend, your hook, and whether people watch or not. Then we're going to go through and talk about how to make a calendar. How do we automate our calendar? Now, when going through and doing a lot of this stuff, if you were to use AI, we can create JSON prompts for whatever we want, right? There are several JSON prompts I'll give you with this training that you can use. One of which is a hashtag maker or hashtag hacker or whatever it is. You can use something like this where this prompt will give it specific rules of what do you want it to do. Produce 30 hashtags, mix of high, medium, low competition tailored to your platform and niche. So I could say, let's do this for make money online. It'll go through and it'll create those hashtags for you. Again, having rules in AI is absolutely key. A lot of people don't think about this, but having rules in JSON prompts is a way to get exactly what you want. See how this went through. There's the high competition, medium competition, and on we go. It's got the rules: balance mix rule, content first rule, research and rotate. And you could do this for anything. I can go through and say now gardening, and it'll go through and find those for you. Now again, a hashtag is not going to make or break you. That's just going to help you. That's all there is to it. Now we can go through and we can do other stuff as well, where we could say, okay, let's spin a storyline. Right? Here's our gardening ones. If we were to do storyline spinner, and I'll give you guys a list of all these as well. Let's say we wanted to go through and say, okay, this one has a story, which would be, let's see where one of her outliers are. Looks like her baseline. Okay, this is a big outlier. So this one is my most asked question: if making money online is too good to be true, whatever. Okay, so let's do this, because we know that this does work. And I mean, look at that. She's literally just sitting there with text on the screen. That's all it is. Nothing to it. It's actually embarrassingly sad how simple it is, right? You don't even need credentials or chops. It's just they get the views and that's the end of it. So if we went through and we did a storyline one here, we can go through and put this here, and it'll spin this story into what we want. Okay, so now I could go through and say my number one question is this, that, or the other. And understanding, okay, repetition works. I mean, look at this. A lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, wow, this person's making all this money doing all this stuff. Well, I mean, some of them, 500 views, 237, 4, those are terrible. Now, I heard at one point, which I do seem like this is probably the most realistic stat I've ever heard, and that is that 1 out of 20 videos is going to be a banger. No matter what you do, you have to fail at 19 or mediocre 19 to move that baseline. And what you're going to see is the baseline will grow over time. So you'll go along and you'll be like, oh, I'm getting, 5 views, 10 views, and then you'll get boom. Okay, boom. Now you have a spike. Maybe this one goes viral and you get 60K. What is that going to do? Well, it's going to move your baseline up a little. So where you were getting maybe 10 a day, now you might be getting 100 a day. And then the next spike, boom, that's going to bring the base level up. What you're focused on is this base level, not the flash in the pan. You're going to be tempted to look at the flash in the pan and be like, whoa, dude, 500,000 views, cool. But at the end of the day, how much is that putting in your pocket? You're here to make money, not to look pretty, not to get views. I mean, if the views make money, great. If one view makes me as much as I need, I'll get 1 view a year. I don't give a shit. All I care about is the money. So understanding that and seeing where your base levels are is going to help you keep your sanity, because looking at that is important. Matt says it's definitely consistency. I will say consistency and getting better over time. Better over time. If you do 3 videos a week, okay, you have 3 chances a week to get better. If you do 5 a week, 7 a week, now you have 7 times to get better. I did a test, I think it was a couple years ago, where I said I'm going to do 3 videos a week without fail. And everyone who ever works here, who knows me, knows, hey, if you're the reason I don't get a video out that day, then you're probably not going to be working here very much longer, because that is my rule. I stick to it. Hell or high water, that is what I'm doing. I need that to work. I will do that no matter what. And looking at that is like, okay, can I do this with AI? How many can I create? Now, also getting past our own ego. I was talking to someone at the video conference last week, and I was like, the funniest thing, I will do a big production video. The video I spent the most money on, the most time on, was one of our lowest viewed videos ever in history. I'm not talking about just now, I'm talking about in history. Some of the best videos are ones where I just sit down and do it. Now, of course, we want to make sure that our ethics and following all the rules and everything are on point, but looking at that, what we want to do is want to take the barrier of entry off the table. Like, that's literally part of the reason I got this office. Why? It's closer to my house. It's easier to get into. I sit here, there's one camera, I pour my coffee, I film on one thing. It's easy. The first video I did in this office was 12 minutes start to finish. Editing took 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I had something out, ready to go, ready to market. That's what we want. You don't want to get hung up on what you think will work, because half the time it won't. It's what other people think will work that's going to get you there. Like if I came out with a video like this, I would be embarrassed at what I did today. But you know what? It worked. Now, 30,000 views on a short versus 30,000 views on a YouTube, whole different ballgame. However, traffic is traffic if you can monetize it and build a list from it. Now, going through that, with all of that said, I want to talk to you about the sideways content glossary method. This is super important. What you are going to learn, and this is something you got to understand about algorithms. All right, there are several algorithms out there. Thinking about YouTube like an SEO guy is a big mistake. It's not going to work. YouTube's algorithm is several things. It's SEO, okay, if you want to rank for SEO, yes, it has that, but there's also competition. It is also a recommendation engine. It wants to find what you want to watch. How is it going to find that? Related terms, related ideas, related things around certain stuff. That person who had, oh, this is the chef secret. Okay, chef secret might be what it's pinging. Now that might not show up on keyword tools, but we know it shows up on videos that work. If you were to go through and say rosemary mustard, okay, rosemary mustard. We got 116, 1300, 1300, 1800, 88, not much, right? Now this probably got more because it piggybacked on the word lamb. Okay, so it's showing on lamb. It's recommending when you see it. Now if I do chef secret, boom. Now this, 371, 82 million, 30 million. If I get recommended on these, that's going to be more traffic than if I'm at the top for rosemary mustard, right? Does that make sense to everyone? When you look at this and you understand, okay, rosemary mustard, not a big deal, 40, okay? If I go through and I say chef secret, you're going to say, Marcus, you're wrong, because people aren't really looking up chef secret. Little bit of people, but why does it work? Because these are recommending the others. It's a piggyback thing. This guy did it. This is an AI video.
Have you ever wondered about the secret techniques chefs use that remain hidden from the public eye? Today, we unveil...
That's all they're doing. That's it. It into the whipped cream, whatever the heck that means. Let's look at his popular ones. Quick and flavorful shrimp. So he could do better, but looking at this as AI, he is getting a following. He did get it going. And again, understanding it's slow and steady and looking at it a different way. The way we're going to look at it is sideways content. What is sideways content? Well, what we think about is like, oh, food, cooking, this, that. I don't. I think about it sideways, thinking about what kind of pans do they use? What kind of herbs do they use? What are secret ingredients they can use, right? See this? Want deeper tomato flavor, caramelized, blah, 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 blah. Want deeper, there you go. And we can make this stuff in an easy way, but what we have to look for is that one thing that's going to make it better. What's that one thing that is going to make it better? Sideways content is where you're going to take your content rather than like, you know, how to run faster, how to run better, how to run longer, how to run slower, whatever. Right? That would be vertical. Instead, how many laps loses 100 calories? How to run faster for this, right? Very, very important. We got to understand it. Robin says, thanks for the tip. I made tomato sauce from scratch. The key to making good tomato sauce, cook it with a pork chop in it. It just makes it magical. And at the end, it'll just kind of like fall apart. But it's got to be like a nice fatty pork chop. At any rate, glossary method. This is where you're going to go through and you look at glossary stuff in your market. You guys have noticed last week on YouTube, I started with a glossary video. The whole point was making that video so I could chop it up into other stuff. And it's going crazy. People love it. People love when I go slow and steady like this. It works. And to me, this stuff's really basic. I've been doing it forever. But to the rest of the world, they don't understand it. That's the key, is you think your market is like you, and they're not. You guys are far more advanced than the people watching this stuff. Way more advanced. Like what you know versus the average person watching that is night and day. And that's value. You have a story, you have something you can share, and you don't have to use your face to do it. You can just share in a cool way. Glossary method, this is where we're gonna go to AI, and we would go to like Gemini or something, and I would say, let's do a new one. How do we get to a new one? There we go. I would say something like make a 250 word glossary for runners. And it will go through and it'll do that glossary. Now, what you're gonna see is that it piggybacks on the word, but it's also naturally what other people would watch. Like if I was interested in making sushi, I'm gonna naturally type in like, sushi grade fish, certain type of rice, seaweed. Those are things that I would type in. So looking at this, like cross training, DOMs, whatever this is, all these other things, these are things that runners look up. Normal people don't really look them up, but if you pair them with running, it will go. Like if you do this, right? Watch what happens. Running. Okay? So you have what is a Farrell-Tech workout? Okay, simple. Like this one's probably pretty easy. I can figure it out. It's a 3-minute video, 4-minute video, and they do really, really well. And if you look at what these people do, you're gonna see that it all piggybacks on it. Now, we're not thinking in terms of just SEO. That will be part of it. We're gonna think about recommendation. How do I show up when these other videos are watched? That's where you really start to take off and get a lot of traffic. Negative split, all this other stuff. And what I want you to do, a lot of YouTubers talk about like, oh, make your first 20 crappy videos. No, I don't want to make crappy videos. I want to make videos that do well. I want to learn from other people who already made crappy videos so that I can make ones that'll do well. The way you're going to do that is by focusing on the glossary. And this is almost disclaimer. Obviously, people can muck it up however they want. But it's almost like if you make halfway decent videos in all the glossary terms in your niche, you're going to get some traffic. It's just going to happen, right? And understanding that is key. AI amplification, using AI to research, generate, and optimize your content strategy across all platforms. I could go through and I can say now for a video about running, whatever, make an engaging, clickbaity title. And it'll go through and it'll do that. And again, thinking about like your natural reaction is going to be, oh, let's make a thumbnail that says Farrell-Tech or whatever. What is it? Fartlek? That's a weird word. Yeah, it is. Okay, they need a new word for that. Like, that's a weird one. This Swedish secret that will destroy your personal best. Run faster instantly with this weird workout. That's cool. The number 1 speed workout you're not doing. Unlock your hidden speed, the Farrell-Tech method. So these are pretty good, and it's doing a good job. I would say this one, I would want the keyword in it, the Swedish Farrell-Tech, whatever it is, Farrell-Tech secret that will destroy your running record, or something like that. Okay? Something to where it has the word running, it has the word I want, but it's also enough to be like, hey, what the hell is that? I need to watch it. That's the key, the what the hell method. That's what you want. Now make a 60-second video script. And this will actually go through and do it, and then I can make it with AI, and it's not that hard to do. The problem people have is they're not in the same thing, doubling down over and over. Like Matt's here all the time. He's got a lot of things on his plate. Like I think if he went all in on one, he'd probably be unstoppable. Because what's happening, and this is something I learned in rehab, which now I get to say what Kurt Russell said in Captain Ron. Learn that in rehab, right? I learned in rehab that you never really multitask. You're stopping and starting over and over and over again, which makes it very difficult. You're not actually doing it. And when you look at that and say, how can I double down? How can I do one thing really good? And that's what today's offer is going to be about, is like, I have no choice but to help you with this one offer because it's self-serving. So like I have to help you because it helps myself. Now, would I help you anyway? Yes, I help you guys all the time. But we're going to make a little army where we're doing this together based on content that we know works. And we're going to help the market in a really, really cool way, because there's so much misinformation in this market that we need to help them. How many of you guys want to do that? Type help if you're like, yeah, I know a lot of people are struggling like me and they need help. All right, so AI amplification. Now, the AI content breakdown strategy is where we're going to transform one piece of long-form content into dozens of social media posts using AI. So going through here with the AI content breakdown, you are making content deliberately for AI breakdown. Like, that's why you're making it. Do I expect my big glossary video to do well right out of the gate? No. Will it do good over time? Hell yeah. But the point isn't that. That's the icing on the cake. What I want is I want my video to be chopped up into 100 little videos
About the secret techniques
that
chefs use that remain hidden from the public eye. Today, we unveil
Let's see if we can
five
make
intriguing
them.
practices.
There we go. But what we're going to do is we're going to break that up into something very, very, very specific, right? So how to start affiliate marketing, boring video, whatever. But it's okay, right? It got some views. It's doing good. People like it. Now, I deliberately recorded it to where each one has its own little slide. And guess what? This slideshow was made by Manus AI. Took a while to go through and fix it and tweak it, but at the end of the day, yes, that was made by Manus. Now, it helps that I know the industry. So like if you're a cook and you know, emulsify and caramelize and julienne and all these other things, again, that is this at its finest. If I was to go through and say, Gemini or ChatGPT, pick your favorite, make a list of glossary terms specific to chef cutting techniques. Why chef cutting? Does anyone know why I would do that? Type it in the box if you think you get it. Okay, so make a list for chef cutting. The reason is because I want to promote knives. I know that'll work. If I was doing pans, I would do non-stick or whatever. Okay, so now this is going to go through and watch Allumette matchstick cut. Okay, I didn't even know this. I know what matchstick cut was, but I didn't know what this was. Allumette potatoes. Okay, 2,600, 10 million. These are see, look at the difference. Palms Allumette, that's thinking like an SEO guy. French fries Allumette, thinking like an SEO guy. These are my favorite breakfast potatoes. That's thinking like a video creator. And let's see. Okay, let's see how popular he is. So that got 10 million views, and he's only got 225,000 subs. That's a winner chicken dinner. Looking at that is like, okay, that worked. Why did it work? Because it was, these are my favorite breakfast potatoes. And it was like, what are those? Okay, 21 layer nacho. That's way too many nacho layers. That's just ruining chips. But at any rate, looking at that is key. Understanding, this is about looking at content different. We want to extract key points. AI will identify main content. So if we go through and we look at that big video I did, what we're doing is we're recording it for AI so that it'll go through and we can build it and get a good content. Keep going, based on what the people want. So like now, I can say, chop this up, give me an overview rundown with all the terms and timestamps. Boom. And then we paste our thing in here. There we go. So it'll go like that. We can extract from our blog post also. Yes, absolutely. We can extract from our blog post and our videos and stuff like that. And we can switch. I can turn a blog post into a video into a blog post, different things like that. Utilizing the tools, I would say Manus AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Notebook LM. Those are key, right? So now we're going through and we're like, okay, there we go. Here's the terms. So here's our terms. I can now chop these up and get a whole bunch of other stuff, paid traffic, this, that, and the other. And it'll actually get the key points from it too, which is really cool. So understanding that is absolutely golden. and it's about going through and doubling down on it. Next, you're going to create quote cards. These are great for Facebook, right? Thinking about how I can take one piece of content and get the most mileage possible. Statistics and data posts. This is where you go through. Like, you want people interested in blogging, post about 100 successful blogs. Obviously, follow the rules and don't share info that you're not allowed to share. But I could go through and be like, here's a case study I found of a blog in the shoe niche making $10,000 a month. You want to learn about blogging? Click here. Over time, they're going to see that and be like, well, shit, I need to learn about blogging. I better sign up for whatever it is, or the webinar or the newsletter or whatever. This is what we did on LOL Biz. Now, I haven't used LOL Biz in a while, but in the heyday on Pinterest, we were getting like 10,000 views a month, and it was building a list. It actually worked really, really good. And all we did was talk about the different things, the different products, right? Just boom, template it out. Here's the chicken, the knapsack, the book, whatever it was. And I outsourced this. I didn't even do it. I told the outsourcer what to do, how to do it, and boom, there we went. Very, very, very easy, low-hanging fruit. Like, it didn't take much at all. I think she did all these in like 2 weeks. But you'll see, they'll start to rank and stuff like that, and you can use them several different ways, okay? Let's see if it comes up here. It should come up in search. Should, but probably in images or something. But understanding that, we got views, we got traction. Had I done that with a video if I did this with video, it'd be game over, right? Just talk about different things like that. I now do videos on Lububu. So Lububu is a trend that probably wouldn't work. And is it the type of traffic you want? So like, you see all these views here, but is it what you would actually want? You could talk about the marketing secret behind it. That could get you traction, but sometimes it's not good to go after these. If it's not going to take you that much like this, that's a video that would drive traffic to my stuff, right? How they took over America, how the consumerism works, things like that, okay? But again, looking at like economics of, yes, that would work. But that's also the Wall Street Journal, so their baseline's probably like 700,000 anyway. But again, looking at it, what you think might work might not. What I would do is a strategy of slow and steady wins the race. If a trend pops up, try it, see if it works. But tweak it to whatever you're trying to do, where it's like, oh, hey, what are we going to do with this? And then how is it going to make me money? What's it going to do? If I don't have a direct path to like, this will build my list or make me money, then I'm not going to do it. However, with that said, AI, when that came out, I did a video on it. It literally transformed my business, making content about that. So looking at where you're going to be is key. Now, going through even more tips and actionable advice, like little things they can do. Okay, take a break from social media and build this thing or whatever. Okay, next we're going to do social media for list building. This is the key. If you can build a list, you will win. Repeat it with me, type it in the box. If I can build a list, I can win. If people are willing to give you their name and email for something of value, then you can market to that over and over, and you can literally drive people to your other stuff and generate traffic in a very simple way. We're going to send them to lead magnets, free resources. We're going to give them PDFs, checklists, tools, all kinds of things like that. Having a list will make you win. Today's offer is literally going to help you get a list. Plain and simple. Now, we're going to do webinar and live event promotion is where you can go through and do that. Robert says, burning question, when I watch social media video clips, Facebook, Reels, Shorts, it seems so hard to get their full info. What are the best practices to get them to your stuff from short repurposed content? Show them that the big one is at the site, right? So when you go through and you have 100 little videos about how to run faster, get my entire running guide, including this and 99 others, over at my website. Boom, they will want that. Give them something they can't get in your video. I can't print your video, but I can go to your site and print 100 checklists or use a software, right? Like if you're doing this, let's say you were doing like a little running guide. This is where you pair it with tools. Show the tool, they will naturally want the tool, you tell them where to get it. Just get a good URL that they won't mess up. Get a good domain name. Private community access, you can get them into a Facebook or something like that. BioLink optimization. This, a lot of people use BioLink services. Don't. Use your own domain. Use a blog. Make it work. Essential AI tools for social media. We're going to use ChatGPT, Notebook LM, Gemini, Manus. For scheduling, I don't usually schedule a lot. I have a person do it. But you can use Sprout Social, Hootsuite, Buffer, or Later. Analytics, we can look at, I'm going to look at my own site. So I'm going to put live chat on my site, and I'm going to sit there and try to sell them. Engagement in community, we can do all this stuff, right? So looking at that, this is what we want to do. I would say for live chat, I'm going to use Provide Support. It's really easy, and it shows me who's on my site. I'm a freak about analytics. I want to know who's on my site all the time so that I can sell stuff to them. That's the key. If you can do that, like, would you not sit around and sell stuff all day if you could? Like, we used to have a joke with me and my wife where she would watch Judge Judy, and I couldn't stand the show. And I'd be like, let's see if I can make $1,000 before the time the show's over. And I always won. I don't know what I won. I just proved I didn't like her show and that, whatever. But hey, I made $1,000. I was happy. But at any rate, looking at that is key. Now, again, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed, but thinking about the value, like a lot of you guys can sit there and help people with other stuff. How many of you guys, let's do a show of hands. How many of you guys have bought an internet marketing product from a guru and it was horse shit? Like, I want you to literally, if you don't like swearing, put HS, but if you do, type it in, because it really gets it, right? Darren says that's how you got me to finally sign up for Simple Sites. Exactly. But you brought a product and it was junk. It was absolute garbage. And if there was someone on the live chat and you were like, hey, bud, I bought this thing from Marcus, dude shows up every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday to help you. How do you know? Because I'm on his thing also. I'm also a customer. How many of you guys think it would be easier to sell? You could probably sell better than me because they already don't trust the guy who owns the product, right? Very simple. And starting to understand that is key. And when we start to understand, hey, wait a minute, I can engage, whether it's social media, whether it's on my live chat, whether it's on my blog, I could get people into stuff. Now, going through and looking at JSON prompts, I'm going to give you guys a list of these JSON prompts. This is just the preliminary ones, so I don't want to give them yet because there's nothing special yet. But they will help you going through and doing video image carousels, and having the different qualifiers in there is absolutely key. Where we go through, here's an engagement booster, getting people interested. Like, think about it. Most people are out there and they're like, oh, who wants to learn about this guru who I like? No. Go on there and post something. How many of you guys have bought something from a guru and how bad did it suck? That'll get engagement. And now you got this thread of people who are frustrated, their pain point, and you can help them out with stuff, right? And do it in a good way where you don't have to be sleazy or anything. I've actually found that being non-upfront with sales, you just be, yeah, I got something to sell you. If you don't want to buy it, that's fine. Go buy something else. I don't care. I'm here to help you in any way I can. When you take that approach, it really, really helps, especially in the age of AI, because what's happening right now is people are getting jaded. They don't know the difference between AI and real content. They don't know the difference between good and bad content. They're buying a bunch of garbage. They're getting burned. They're having these issues. And if we can go out there and help them, boom, there you go. Now, when you use this, we're going to use a consistent structure with our JSON prompt, right? Platform, post name, headline, content. We're going to give it the rules. Then we could go through and we could do batch content creation by generating multiple posts with identical formatting, right? When I have this here, I could literally go to this and be like, okay, now make this a JSON prompt I can use with different chef secrets. And boom, there we go. And building an audience actually isn't that hard. It's people don't want to post and get one view. They feel bad. Guess what? The internet, money, doesn't care how you feel. Never have I had $1 jump out of my pocket and say, oh, how do you feel today? It basically did not give a rip how I felt. And when you look at this as data, like people, oh, I failed. I didn't get it right. I don't get it. How many of you guys right now, you feel a certain way? Type feel and then type the feeling of how you feel about making money online. I want you guys to type it in. Let's see how that works, okay? Because If you guys understand, it's not about a feeling. It has nothing to do with it. Your blog doesn't rank. It's just an algorithm. It's just a computer. It's not personal. I do something else. We're like the soup guy on Seinfeld. Next, Deborah says, I feel good about making money online. That's fantastic, but it's not going to help you. Robin says it feels great, but it's a challenge. Sherry says she feels good, and that's great. We can feel good about it, but what are we doing about it? We need to make forward momentum every day. This is something we're going to be putting in AI Profit Scoop, which, by the way, if you're in AI Profit Scoop and you're a paid member, keep it. The price is going to go up for everyone else. Yours will stay the same. We're adding a daily tasks dashboard where you just log in and it's like, here's the tasks to do to make money. Go do them, and there you go. Matt says, I feel like showing up every day. That's what you got to do. You got to show up every day. Trevor says, I feel bad about it, but I make moves anyways. That's how you do it. Some days I come in work and I'm like, I feel like the worthless person. And I just got to say, you know what? It doesn't matter how I feel. It matters what I do. It matters what I do. And that's what we got to do. And we got to understand, like Darren says, I know success is coming. Hard work is now paying off. Yeah, and it will pay off if you do hard, smart work. Work hard, work smart. Work 10 times to get smart, and then you don't have to work that hard. That's the key. Easy integration, parse outputs directly into scheduling tools, data-driven content. What you're doing is you're teaching the AI to give you content that works. That's key. Own your own digital real estate. This is where people struggle. They have like stand stores, or they have an affiliate link in their description, or whatever. No. You need to run your own domain. You guys know that I am a crazy person when it comes to buying domains. I buy them all the time. I'm obsessed with buying domains. Why? Because they work. That's why I have GoHubSite.com. Instead of saying, go to my site and find the hosting button, go to GoHubSite.com. It'll take you right to the page on my site. Where does that go? That goes affiliate marketing, dude. Right? But it goes through there, so you don't have to find it. Everyone remembers GoHubSite. If I said go to affiliatemarketingdude.com/host, nobody's going to remember it. Okay? We need to make it work. When you have your own domain, it gives you complete brand control. Your domain, your rules, no platform restrictions or branding. I'm going to use my own domain. I'm going to use WordPress. Why? It's easy, and now with AI, it'll do anything you want. Superior SEO benefits. If building a domain authority will rank higher in search results. Like over time, you're going to rank higher. We got our people that are making little tools for tax niches and all kinds of other niches, and it works like crazy if you do it right. You need to think about how to make it work the right way. We are doing deliberate stuff, not just lots of stuff. We need to invest in our future and build on our own foundation. Third-party platforms are not good, okay? There are times we can use them, but more often than not, we're not going to. Professional trust and credibility. If you tell them to go to your website and you have an actual website, that builds trust. Better analytics and tracking. We can see what's happening all the time. Future-proof ownership. We own our audience. No matter what you're doing on social media, we want to own our audience. We want to get people to our websites. Implementing your AI strategy. Step-by-step guide to building and executing. First, you're going to audit your current content. If you don't have it, do your trigger words and do your glossary method. Start with the glossary method. It works if you do it, right? You just go through, you find the terms, some of them will hit. And then when one hits, it'll boost all your content. The cool thing about social media is when the tide rises, all boats rise. So everything will get a boost when all the stuff boosts. Select your platform-specific AI tools. So if you're using TikTok, maybe use a video generator. If you're using Facebook, maybe use audio or an image generator. Creating AI-enhanced content calendar, going through and thinking about what you're going to post and how you're going to build on the next thing. Making glossary terms, and maybe every 6th video, so you do 5 terms, 6th one is go here to get the whole thing or buy this product or whatever it is. Very important. Create AI-enhanced content by developing a comprehensive content calendar that incorporates TreasureWorks, sideways content, and platform-specific optimization. Implement, measure, and refine. Make it easy. Don't make it difficult to make content. Make it easy. We want to be in here sitting and making things that work over and over. I don't want to come in here and juggle things. I don't like turning on 3 lights is about all I can do. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make a video today. You need to make it so you work. You need to turn off all distractions and do the stuff you know will work based on the data you know will work. Now, with this, if you lay out the plan, whatever niche you're in, it will work if you keep going and watching. The key is growing from things. You learn as much from the one that doesn't work as you do the one that does. And once you make something, you can retweak it and make it work somewhere else. That's a key, right? Like, okay, if I make, let's say I make 100 short videos about how to stay sober, okay? And they don't do good. I'm like, okay, they didn't do that good. Whatever. Now I have 100 videos. I could turn those into a course. I could turn those into a long video. I could turn those into a blog post. I can package them together and make a press release about them or whatever it is. When we go through and we duplicate things to be used in different ways, that's where everything starts to work. Now, what I'm thinking about doing, how many of you guys like this and you're like, okay, social media needs to be part of my arsenal. I see that like going out there and getting traction on Facebook is not as hard as like trying to get SEO blogs. Like if I'm just consistent on social media, it will work if I do it the right way. How many of you guys see that? Type see it or got the vision if you're getting that. All right? Because I know a lot of people, they struggle with SEO. They're like, okay, what does Google want? I don't know. Well, on Facebook, it's easier because it's like, well, what do people want? All right, that's a little bit easier. How many of you guys see that vision? Now, how many of you guys think, how many of you guys on a scale of 1 to 100, you get the struggles of the make money online niche? You're like, I get it. There's struggles. There's a lot of money. You guys probably spent a lot of money trying to learn this stuff. And for the first time ever, you're like, hey, someone actually comes on here consistently. Okay, so what I want to do, I have a lot of content. I have thousands of videos, way too many videos. A lot of them we took down and we're using for other stuff. What I want to do is I want to take a group of people. I want to show you how to break those videos up and use them to promote Blog Profit Network. Because you guys all like it. You're like, okay, you're sticking around. You like this stuff. You might as well promote something you like while you're doing your other niches as well. How many of you guys like that plan? Type, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to have Marcus come in and help me promote his product, which is going to be good. He's got content that I can chop up. Like you could go out there if I have a video, let's say, I think it was, let's do affiliate marketing, dude. I'll show you what it would look like. So let's say, I think I could get to search the notes. And you know what? Side note, you're going to force yourself to learn this stuff because it's like, okay, well, while you're making this content, you're going to kind of have to learn, right? So if I went here and let's say I did how to make money with AI content, $100 a post method. So this one is about making AI articles.
If you could create,
It's an hour and 42 minutes. What I would do is I would show you, okay, here's how to chop this up, right? You could get little snippets and things like that out of this, and you could promote Blog Profit Network through your ClickBank link, and you get paid, I think it pays $58 and then $17 a month. You get 50%. We're gonna have perks and bonuses and stuff like that as well. But what I wanna do is I wanna take some of the domains I have and show you how to do this. What we're doing is we're starting a social media army to promote Blog Profit Network. Why? On my own, I can't get the reach you guys can get reach, right? You could comment on the videos. You could talk about what you've learned. You talk about what struggles you had. You can use your voice, AI voice. You could be on camera, not on camera, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Always keep it ethical. Always keep it good. Always use disclaimers. That's the only thing, if you're going to say something, make a disclaimer there. But what we're going to do is we're going to make a team of marketers. I'm going to start you out with a domain and a website. We're going to make it with an opt-in. We're going to build it up. I'm going to show you how to chop the content up and make it work in a specific way, right? So you would go through, you'd be like, you know what? I got a favorite video I like from Marcus. Ask me if you can use it. Some of them are usable, some of them aren't. You can go through and chop it up the way you want. We did this yesterday with one on Facebook. It was the first one we did for the glossary method, and it actually did pretty good. I mean, it's getting views, it's getting people interested, and it works really well. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to make systematic content for this. So inadvertently, it'll teach you while you have a second thing going, which I think what a lot of you guys need is something straightforward, something simple, something with no barrier where you're like, okay, I get this market. This is one that I'm in, and I can do that. If that sounds like something you wanna do, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start you with a domain. We have These are examples, but we have lots like Free Money Video, Earn Wealth Blog. There's a bunch of them, and I'm going to be getting more. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a small group. I'm going to show you how this works. The goal is going to be to build you a list in the Make Money niche, promote the stuff that I have, promote web hosting, different things like that, and wash, rinse, repeat. What you're going to do is you're going to be able to talk to your niche about it, say, oh, here's what I got from it. Here's what I learned. Just be honest about it. Like, hey, I spent $10,000 with this other guru. Could never get him on the phone. Marcus shows up every Tuesday. You can join this call here. Very simple, very straightforward. So if you're interested in that, type BPN in the box. I'll talk to you about how it works, what the price would be to have us get you started. We'll start you out with some content. Everyone's going to have their own unique angle. So like, it's not going to be, oh, here's all these people with all this duplicated content. Why? Because that ain't going to help me. If I give you all the same content, it's not going to help. It is going to cost me more money to do it the right way. But hey, I want you to get good results and everything like that. Now, what I was going to do is I was going to do this under the $297 starter plan. But I thought to myself, instead of doing that, what if I got you guys $100 worth of traffic to jumpstart your list? I know places to buy traffic. Sometimes you get good lists. Sometimes it's hit and miss. I've tested it. What we'll do is we'll test it out on yours. You'll probably get some leads. I can almost guarantee it, but maybe not. You never guarantee anything. I don't know. You never know. But I've gone through and I've bought tens, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars through this traffic source. And it's one that works really well. And what we want to do is work with you guys to get good results. Now, we have to look at it and understand how the business works. I think if you did the social media strategy, I mean, a lot of people are doing this kind of thing and getting results, getting sales and stuff like that. You just have to understand it's a business. It takes some work. It takes some effort. But I think it's going to be a lot more straightforward than other stuff you got going on. I personally think for those that like this idea, it's going to be that second avenue where you could do all the social media stuff and build and grow on this while you learn. This will teach you stuff about the market because, I never started learning as much about affiliate marketing until I started teaching it. Guandi says, I built a GPT that would be perfect for BPN. Exactly. We have another guy who uses his for that as well. So if you guys are interested, what we're going to do is we're going to have a domain. So you get a domain, you'll put it on your host. We will build the site for you with the opt-in. It'll be very simple, straightforward. We'll get you some starter content for it. I think we'll probably do like 10 pieces of content to start. We'll show you how to chop up all the other stuff, how to load the videos and everything like that, which will work really well. If you guys want to do this, now anyone can promote BPN, like it doesn't cost anything to do that. But if you want our setup with our plan and everything like that, it'll be perfect for it. So let me get you guys the link, and you can do it two ways. If you want us to make you more content, you can use the bigger option. With that, you'll also get a better domain name. But either way, like if you're on a budget, use the budget one. I'm going to help you the best I can with both of them. So the way it'll work is this. You're going to go here, scroll down. If you're on the budget option, it's fine. It'll work just the same. You just get more content and a better domain if you use the fully loaded. Now, this does happen to be a niche I know like the back of my hand. So if you're going to do the fully loaded, you can bet your butt I'm going to give you a good job on that one. I know this niche. I know how it works. I know how to get traffic in it. If you do the fully loaded, I could get you more traffic as well. So instead of the $100 traffic, I'll get you here. I'll get you like, I don't know, $300 over here or something like that. Okay? Very straightforward. And what we're going to do is we're all going to compare notes, and it'll be a little group where we're helping each other out. Very cool, very straightforward. All you got to do is make it work, and then bada bing, there you go. Sean says, I've signed up. Okay, let me get you the link here. So this is the link. $497 is the budget one. That's, if you're on a budget, use that one. If you can afford it and you like this and you're like, dude, I want to go all in on this, use the $1297. You will like it. This is a market I know. It works. It's going to be a good one. Okay? Sean says, I've signed up. Would an old HTN work, WP Captain, or is other domain better? So let's take a look at WP Captain. Like, it's about WordPress, so it could work. You might need a refresher on it. Let's take a look at what it looks like. And if you guys have questions about this offer, let me know. I've never done an offer like this before. Todd, we could do PayPal. Just send me your email only and I'll get it there. So this definitely needs a refresher. I think I could do better for you, Sean. Like, I think I could do better on a fresh domain. So yeah, if you want to sign up, I'll look into the domain. If I think it's better to do a refresher, we'll do that. With your permission, of course, I'll tell you before I do it. Or if you want me to get a new domain, we'll do that as well. I'm kind of leaning towards a new domain on this one. Yeah, so that's what I would look at there. All right, cool deal. Let me get you guys the link here. Again, it is a small group. I'm not going to take a bunch of people because then it would just be too much competition for each other. Probably going to have like 10 people. And pretty sure they'll sell out on this call. This is a pretty straightforward offer. The fact that you're getting traffic is kind of icing on the cake because we're going to get you some traffic there because, hey, you know what? My goal is to help you do good because when you do good, I do good, which is cool. It will be promoting Blog Profit Network. We will also have some options where you can be an affiliate of other products like High Ticket Niche and stuff like that as well. So pretty cool stuff. Again, to recap, you get a domain. You get content, you'll get some of the videos that you can use and chop up. I'll show you how to do that. You'll also get in the video class that we're having, so the video class will be part of it as well. We'll teach you how to make the videos. That is coming up towards the end of the month, I think it is. And yeah, so it'll be pretty solid. So let's take some questions if you guys have questions. And can we go through the questions on the forum? I can get to those. Let's take questions on this offer first because I want to make sure that everyone who's interested in this can get going on that. And let me see where the forum is. Forum. And yeah, you're just going to fill all this out. Make sure you order within the next 10 minutes. That way we know it is for this product. And we'll reach out to you and talk to you about some of your angles and stuff like that. That'll work really good. But again, it's very straightforward, cut and dry. It's one where you're not going to get confused by your niche because it's like, oh, here's what you do, here's where you go. I'm just going to do what Marcus tells me to do, follow along, and then you tell us your results and everything like that, which will be pretty cool. All right, so that said, let's see, we'll get you guys that link again. Did that go in there? Yeah, I think you guys all got the link. Okay, so let's take a look at some forum questions. All right, here. And again, this is something I've never done, and I probably won't do it again. So if it sounds like something you want to do, it's not like a scarcity ploy. It's just something I don't do too often because it does take a lot of effort to build and everything. Is this the one I signed up with? No, this is different. This is something completely different. I've never done this before. But that's what's going to happen. Okay? It'll be a Facebook, YouTube, blog, all of that put together. Todd, I'll get you sorted. Just sit tight. Okay, so while you guys are getting signed up, let's go to